Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. I am Dragons Guys, and today we're working on some game design stuff. So we're operating right now in the Unity game engine. So hold on, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties on my end, but hopefully that should all be resolved pretty soon. But today we're working on a bunch of rule tiles, which is Unity tiles that have special logic that allows them to do cool things, like connect to each other in cool ways, or just think Mario Maker. If I were to take Mario Maker and put it into Unity in a way that I could like design levels in a way that works. So yeah, we're just gonna hop right into it. So I've been doing a little bit of work off stream on getting this set up, and we're doing some really weird stuff, to be honest, with our tiles. We're trying to make quote-unquote sibling tiles, which I'm just going to actually copy-paste this, that are essentially able to connect to one another as if they were the same tile, but like function differently. So I'm wanting one to be for thick and thin grass. So this is going to be a thin grass tile. And this will be a dense grass tile. So with the dense grass tile, we're going to want it to like kind of connect to the thin grass. So we're going to give it this sibling. And we're going to want the same thing for the thin grass. Cool. Now, ideally, we're also going to want to change all of the sprites within the thin grass so they actually look differently from the thick grass, which should be rather simple. All that we're going to have to do is just replace all of this. So the one thing I'm going to do is replace this with a single. We don't want to have bunch of random tiles for our thin grass, because the thin grass doesn't like have flowers growing out of it. It doesn't have anything weird like that. It's rather simple. So it's been really hard to stay committed to game design, guys. I've had a little bit of a rough last season, so I mean, obviously I'm not like really streaming, so I'll get attention, so it's not really a big deal or anything like that. Just a little more attention to real life and whatever, but like, you know, the game's afoot. I want it to go somewhere, so it's been hard, but I think we're getting back into it. If I come into your guys' thoughts, I know it's very strange, but please consider praying for me, because I definitely need that support this season. You know, we're gonna go ahead and drop this here, and let's see. It looks like the bottom tile here is still very, very thick. We don't want that. And the side tile is thin now. And the default tile, we're gonna want it to actually be the thin. So if I go back into my tile palette, I'm going to put the thin grass tile actually here. And ideally, we do have a problem. If we look here, these tiles are treating each other like they're different. And you can tell because there's this border. And we don't want that. We want the tiles to be pretty seamless. So I am slightly concerned. Let's see here. I'm going to go back into my sibling tile script and just take a look at what this is. So it's a public override boolean that overrides rule match int neighbor tile-based tile. Now for our switch neighbor, case tiling rule output.neighbor.this. So it's referencing this script and the neighbor connected to it. Return if the tile is the same as the one that we're referencing, or sibling.contains tile. So it's concerning because these tiles really should be referencing one another. So let's see what we can't do here. I'm gonna put this here, and I think that did something. I am a little bit concerned. I don't know why this isn't functioning the way we want it to, but I'm also really quickly going to double check and see if our okay, StreamCord is being annoying. It's not actually notifying the Discord server. So I'm just gonna let everyone know For some reason, the bot is not notifying everyone, but I'm online now, haha. The cat, I'm found you. Hello, how's it going? We're working on some pretty, I don't want to say annoying stuff, but at this point, a little bit. So we're trying to get it so that this thin grass and thick grass kind of connects to one another in a way that doesn't look bad. And unfortunately, that's not happening. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. You just got home from work? Cool. I actually haven't had much work in the last few days, which is nice. I mean, like, it's good to get a job, obviously. It's no hating on that, and I have one. I do a lot of that, but it's been a bit of a crazy week. It's a couple of weeks, so not much going on there. Actually, it took a lot of discipline to just get here on stream, so happy to be here. Okay, so the goal is to have it so that when you look at so there's like thick grass here, which props to abs for making it, and then there's thin grass on the side here, and the goal is that they kind of seamlessly tile into one another and just look good doing it, but like we're not actually having that happen, which I'm a little concerned about that. Genuinely, like, because these are both forms of grass, and I think it would be really cool if we could like have it so that the thick grass is further away from the building, but like this path line is really annoying. So yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what's up with the scripting there. So I think the move might be to try and recreate, I don't know. So I don't really usually mess around with tiles a lot. I usually just use the default stuff. I like it when it's not as messy. But like, now that I'm trying to like create my own custom tiles that do what I want, it's difficult. I haven't played Deltarune today yet, but I'm dreading the night since I never really thought I would fight it because I wouldn't get Deltarune, but now. Don't worry, you'll probably live. I'm literally not even gonna... What's an auto tile? Honestly, though, you'll probably be fine. And if you end up dying, it's just a game. You're fine. Okay, so the auto tile is not going to work either. Man, guys. Unity doesn't want to cooperate, but we're going to make it. So the thing about Unity and game design in general is that these companies will give you a kind of like a certain amount of stuff that you can mess around with. Certain kinds of tiles, certain kinds of character movement scripts, for example, and they do specific things, but if you need them to do something different, they won't, usually. Okay. So looking here, oh, this is weird. Guys, I don't know. This is weird. I've never run into this before. I need the black shard though. I've never actually gotten the black shard in Deltarune. Don't know if that's just like a secret boss thing or if that's more connected to like, I don't know, just like the weird route stuff, because I've never actually tried the weird route. I've heard of it because I have friends who play Deltarune, but I haven't tried it because I'm not going to spoil Undertale. I almost spoiled Undertale, guys. You have to beat the knight for it. That would explain it. Okay. But I'm just going to try and piece together what the heck is happening here. Unity's giving me some ammo. I'm not sure what it is, but... So, this is a tile script, which a tile is one of these, right? It's one of those things on the grid. And the class neighbor is a rule tile. Tiling rule. Interesting. Spamton is causing the very likely. Spamton does tend to do that. So if the neighbor is null, return tile is equal to null. Well, duh. If the neighbor is not null, return tile is... Man, dudes. Honestly, I don't want to have to deal with this. I wish Unity just had a way to make these tiles look nicer. This path edge is really driving me crazy. So I want there to be a really nice pathway. That's the goal. That's the vision. Ideally, it would look something like... Well, actually, let me get rid of this. We don't want that to be on the walls. We want that... Ideally, it would look something like this with the path down the middle. Thin grass on the side. Which, I don't know why the thin grass is like that, but... And then, like, the thick grass kind of, like, surrounding it on the outside, like, out here. Almost like a lawn, if that makes sense. So we'll just draw that. Right here. And we'll put that, like, right here. And right here. Because, like, this is supposed to be, like, a really fancy manor. I feel like it would be very clear where the lawn starts and ends. That's the huge thing. And maybe we'll have, like, some really nice trees and, like, a fountain and, like, gates and stuff. But, like, all of these... You can see so many problems, though. Because, like, there's the edge here. If I go into the game view, like, this does not look natural. And it's because the path is not treating the grass like it's a part of the same tile map. Did you see my new art yet? Yeah. I believe so, if it's the night drawing that you showed me earlier. I might not have... I haven't been as active on pixel art, though, so I might not have. I don't know. Come on. Okay, there we go. We're back on. Sorry about that, guys. Little bit of a disconnection point there. But we're back online. I'll make sure to take a look at it after we're done with stream and stuff. I just really want to get this fixed, to be honest. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. I'm just going to take a look over at some forums here. And Taboo caused it? Dude, the Deltarune references, if that's a Deltarune reference, is going way over my head. I do apologize, but not a Delta streamer. But I wouldn't be surprised. There's just like a ton of problems coming up at the same time. It's just wild. So, just taking a look over at this, it doesn't seem like it was working. Alright. So... a lot of times whenever you have a problem with game design or really anything at all, someone's already fixed it, and that's really what I'm banking on, because I'm not wanting to deal with all of this stuff. It's... But let's see, if we figure out what the people did to fix it before, maybe we could figure this out. So, create asset menu. So, he's creating a rule tile here, which is what we're looking for. Siblings. Switch neighbor. If cases neighbor is this, return the other is equal to this. Let's compare it with what we have so far. So, hold on, what is this song? Taboo is the final boss of Subspace Emissary. Oh my gosh, Subspace Emissary is so peak. That would explain it, though. I haven't played it nearly soon. I'm actually thinking about getting a new Wii soon. I'm really excited about that. They announced that they were going to make Switch Sports Resort and all, but, like, I used to play Wii Sports Resort when it was just a Wii game, and seeing the announcement really makes me want to go and get my Wii again. And Also, Subspace Emissary, genuinely the best story mode Smash Brothers has ever come up with. And don't forget Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time isn't a Wii game. It's Nintendo 64, but... Oh, wait, you're talking about the Nintendo Direct. Yeah. That's pretty exciting. That was my... I played it back when it was on the 64 as well. I had the original version. I actually saved up a ton for it back then. So, because my dad had an old Nintendo 64, and I was into Zelda a ton. So this is the same thing here. And I'm just going to kind of like weave in and out of the conversation here. Alright, so we're just going to add this. I don't understand what's going on here. Let's honestly just steal this. Take it here. But the Nintendo 64 and the Wii were definitely my favorite systems growing up. I actually didn't get a Nintendo Switch until much later in my life. Okay, here we are. We're getting somewhere. So what's the neighbor, though? There we go. I think we might have figured it out. Let's try this. Hopefully. Okay, now we're having a really weird issue. I'm afraid we're not getting any closer to figuring it out. That's unfortunate. So we're going to go ahead and erase everything one more time and just try and redraw. The reason we're doing all this stuff with the tiles is because Abs recently sent us in some new art here for the manor and the outside especially. A lot of different grass tiles that are a little more specialized and a little bit different. But there is a lot of problems with, because it's not, I wish it was just as easy as you could send in art, send in your vision, and have it work in a game. Implementation is difficult and very necessary, though. And the funny thing about it is, I'm the implementation behind this project. I have no clue what I'm doing. It's the thing about game design that people miss out on is it's not a matter of knowing how to do stuff. It's a matter of being able to figure out how to do it through trial and error. Personally, I'm struggling with that right now. But I still think it's possible. We could do this. I'll put this here. And I put this here. Alright, and then I'm going to try quitting out of the project. Let's see if we could like restart it and have it work for us here. And in the meantime, let's see what happens. Okay, nothing helpful. I'm like... Playing Deltarune has unleashed my inner crackpot theorist. Yeah. That's the only reason why it probably wouldn't be sustainable to become a streamer on my part in the Deltarune area, because I just don't have that theory side, dude. I mean, I like suspense, don't get me wrong. I like the ideas that come out of this. Like, ooh, what if Chris is... What if Susie is... What if, you know? But I would literally die if that was everything I stream about. Oh, man. But, let's see... And it's funny at times and it can be really interesting, but at some point... Well, actually, I think it's really funny because Toby knows what's going on, right? He's making his games and he knows that people dig the theories, and he just kind of plays around with it. Dude, I can't tell you what to name your theories. Honestly... Well, let's see here. Honestly, I would also wouldn't ask me because I'm currently distracted trying to figure out a problem that should have been solved 2 years ago. Or, yes, it should have been solved yesterday. So, honestly. Yeah, Chris. Why the spelling? That's weird. Me spammed in that Taboo are doing this. Good chance. There's a good chance of it. I'm just a little confused personally because I feel like. Well, actually, let's double check here. When was this answer released? 7 years ago. Oh gosh. That explains a lot. Okay, so I'm using 7-year-old code to try and figure out. Okay. So, good advice. Don't use 7-year-old code to solve problems in Unity. It's a bad idea. I should have taken my own advice a long time ago. Okay. Let's check some more recent stuff. So this was released 2 years ago. So let's find a more recent solution. So, okay, so I'm a little concerned at this point because I just realized that this is not going to be as straightforward as I thought. But it's good because we also figured out that we were using outdated information, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and fix a couple of problems here. And we're going to just try and get back to this ourselves. So we're going to use system.corrections.generic. I would explain this, except I only speak English whenever I'm talking about things that don't have to do with game design, which is tragic. I wish that I could translate all this to English, and I thought about doing tutorials and stuff, but like, genuinely, you kind of have to talk to... C# is a foreign language. It literally is. I mean, like, you can't talk to people in normal English while explaining code. That's why you have to talk about the Nintendo Wii while you're making games, otherwise it just gets boring for everyone. Which, I've been thinking a lot about that lately. Like, it's hard to do game design and streaming because I like talking to people. I'm calling my rail save theory MinTP theory. Bars. I could also see it since he's he's from the dark world, so there's a good chance that he's tied to some sort of an object within the light world. But the mint is almost feels like an appeal to the meme almost, you know, like the whole a million revivements to Ralsei meme. I don't know. I almost feel like he would be tied to like maybe the picture of Asriel or something, because he's literally stated to have reminded Susie directly of Asriel. So I don't know. That's my mental rune theory for the stream. Don't expect any more. I'm not a game theory. I am not game theory. Don't make me do FNAF. I refuse. I don't know, but either way. So, okay, so let's see. With the rule match, the tile here... If tile is equal to null... In other words, if there's no tile next to the tile that we're comparing to, so if we just have a tile in the void, return true? Okay, well, let's just see what this does. So let's experiment a little bit. I have an idea. What if we flipped this? We're going to break the code and see what it does. See if it has an effect here. Doesn't seem like it had any effect, which is suboptimal. Okay. Because if I break the script, ideally it should break, but it looks like it's just not paying attention to what we're doing. It looks like the tiles are ignoring the script that we're making, which is really bad. Okay, we're gonna refresh this. I do agree that Ralsei just has to be more important other than being a mint, even if a mint is somehow really important. Yeah, for sure. He has a lot of character significance, that's for sure. And, though I have not heard of that meme before. Yeah, I don't know. There are too many of them, dude. You know that. You literally made a picture about it. Okay, so, create a new tile of real tile, inherit. Instead of real tile. Real tile.tiling real.neighbor. Okay, we have a lot of... this is a lot. Oh my gosh. I think we got it though. Create a subclass that inherits from the rule tiling rule. And add a new rule number. Usually Unity uses 0, 1, and 2 for the default rules. So customs start at 3. Hey, friend could be the dark world's greatest baker. No. Dude, I do not buy the friend inside of me theory. That's just weird. How did we tie Toy Story into Deltarune? This is not okay. Even though Toby is literally a part of the cast list for Toy Story 5. Ignore that! Aye. So, rule match. Oh, wait. Wait. Create a custom matching rule. Create the new type of rule for the grid in the rule tile inspector window. Inherit rule tile instead of rule tile. Okay, so let's just put this here. Okay, at this point, I'm kind of just spitballing. We're going to try everything inside of here. Every little piece of code, every little thing. See if we can't randomly stumble upon something that's helpful. Just realized I've made 5 different pieces of art with Rouse. Honestly, valid. He's a really fun character. I like him. Okay, so let's try this. Okay. I'm gonna try some stuff. Oh, I know what to call my Rouse theory. Go ahead. Oh, wait. Toothpaste boy. Bro, that'll stick. I don't know about the name. That's wild. All right. I am very confused. I am so very confused. Lancer was right all along. No. Come on, Unity. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Oh, wait. Okay, I get it now. So, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach Unity how to recognize that certain tiles should be able to connect to one another. In other words, the thin and the thick grass. It should be able to look to its left and see this grass tile and say, oh, I get along with this guy. And then they'll connect instead of having this weird seam down the middle. So we're kind of getting started with that. Let's take a look. So with this new rule, the int tile is null is equal to 3. When you create an instance of the new rule tile, select 3 as the rule when you click the grid in the tiling rules section in the inspector. Okay, let's take a look at that, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what it's talking about here. Okay, well, I'm trying to get Unity to see, but I think Unity's confused. Very confused. When you create an instance of the new rule tile, select 3 as the rule when you click in the grid in the tiling rules section of the inspector window. Inspector tiling rules grid. For once, I'm not speaking C# well. I am so lost. Okay, but I'm kind of having fun with it. That's part of the fun of game design and, like, really creating in general. Like, being totally stumped and then just realizing, oh, wait, that's how this works. So, we're also going to drop into Unity, and we're going to do this. Okay, I think so this is what I was missing. So we're gonna do using Unity engine dot tile maps dot Maybe? Come on, Unity, work with me here. Uh... Okay. I will say my unique theories are mostly to make things work like Chris and Noel. And at least Rouse is heavily related to... I kind of get that. Sometimes I wish things were aligned up a certain way into Deltarune canon. Okay, yeah, no, we're not using AI for this. But the custom rule tile can't be found, and that's not right. Why is that not working? I don't get it. But it usually makes things work like Chris and Noel. Unfortunately, with the Chris and Noel, I think Toby's made some interesting decisions with Noel's canon that don't align up with the Chris and Noel. They just don't. Oh, really? Yeah, fairly obvious, unfortunately. So, let's take a look at this. What the heck? So it should be working? Unity 2D tile map extra. Okay, I feel like I might have to import something here. Let's try that. But yeah, Deltarune is... I have some high hopes. I think that Chris might not be evil. That there might be a redemption arc for him. That's the one thing that I'm really hoping for. That's not good. It's actually already here. Oh boy. They're gonna update this. Dang it! But, like, at the same time, I think that there are some things that I can't really hope for. Like, it's very clear that Toby's going in certain directions with some of the characters like Noel and Susie that he's not going to take back. It's just not going to happen. Which is unfortunate. Oh, wait. That's it! Eureka, guys! We did it! We did it! We did it! Okay, hold on. Guys, I think we did something. And one thing that I desperately want to do at some point in time is make a mod that fixes Deltarune. Valid. Bars. Okay, okay, I think we're a step closer, but I'm not exactly sure what to do next. Hopefully we're a step closer? Come on, Unity, we gotta figure this out. Let's take a look at this, guys. Info. Tile link. Unity is confusing me. Honestly, though, a mod that fixes Deltarune could be cool. And I mean, like, just get rid of the unnecessary stuff, leave the cool stuff. Like, because I feel like Deltarune could move in a direction where it's just more generally accessible and playable, I guess. And that would be cool. That would be awesome. It hasn't so far, which is annoying. But it would definitely be something I wait on in case Deltarune takes the morals in a different direction than they're going. I'm not optimistic, which is why I became a game designer. Because I want to make games that I would want to play. You can't count on other people to stand up for your morals. I mean, sometimes you can, and that's why it's good to have friends and whatever that you could count on. But like, in the world of game design especially, like, I think that there's a need for more people who are willing to make good games that are fun to play and genuinely wholesome, but like have the same legendary status as like Undertale, Deltarune, Zelda, all of these things. You know? Because I feel like two things can be true at once. That's why I really want to have this job, because like uh quality shouldn't be incompatible with moral standing. It just shouldn't be. So let's see. We're gonna take a look at this. Define your custom neighbor constants. We've done this. Okay. Oh, I need to heat. Hopefully, more. I'll chat more after. All right, sounds good, dude. Talk to you soon. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna head back into the overworld here. And we're gonna hit the tile maps. Tiles. Let's take a look at the outdoors tiles and dense grass tiles. So we have one sibling, which we're just going to get rid of both of them. They're not doing anything at this point. What we're wanting to do is get to a point where this does weird things, because that will prove that we're having some effect. Lore. So that's going to mean a little bit more research. So we're going to create a custom rules. Create a subclass that inherits from the tiling rule and add a new rule number. When you create an instance of the new rule tile, select 3 as the rule when you click the grid in the tiling rules section of the inspector window. I am concerned here. I'm not seeing what they're talking about. You create a new instance of the new rule tile. Select 3 as the rule when you click the grid in the tiling rules section of the inspector window. Nothing there. Nothing there. Yeah, this is suboptimal to say the least. When you create an instance of the new rule tile, so let's just try that. Let's create a new instance here. Or even better, let's go debug. Maybe it'll give us some more information here. Script, sibling tile. Let's exit debug. Grid. Right, okay. Switch here. Let's try this. So I'm gonna go into here, create tiles. Where are you? We need to create a sibling tile here. I'll hop into here. And we're gonna say create asset menu. So that way we can pull up a rule tile. And honestly, we might just build this up from the ground up. So we go here, sibling tile. Oh, hang on. I think we figured it out, guys. All right, guys, we're closer. Okay. So if this is... Oh my gosh. Now we're going to go ahead and double check here, and we're going to rename this. Case 4. Case 4. We're almost done. The big thing here is now we have to define is this tile connectable? Is this tile not connectable? All right, cool. And so if it's not connectable, the big thing here is that it's not going to be the original tile. So that's the first thing. Well, first off, if the tile is equal to null, or maybe we should do this. Let's do it like this. So first we're going to do a null check. If it's equal to null, then obviously it's true. Else if tile is not equal to this and tile, well, actually, and siblings dot contains tile, or we should say not siblings dot contains tile. Finally, else return false. Okay. So now we're looking at 3 and 4 as our new roots. So this will be 4, 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 and this will be 4. This will be 3, 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 3, 3. And we're just going to keep on going through here. And this is going to be a lot to redo, so I'm just going to copy and paste everything over into our new script shortly. But like, first off, let's double check this thin grass tile. And you'll notice the dense grass, it seems like it's treating it right. But let's just double check here. Let's get rid of the thin grass tile. Duplicate the dense grass tile, and we're going to rename this into the thin grass tile. Now, the big thing here is we are not going to want this to be random. We're going to want it to be single, and this is just going to be the angle where we go back into our tiles and give this one more go around inside of here. We're going to want not our dense, but our light grass tiles, and we're just going to replace everything here. Throw this here. This here, and we'll put this here. We're going to put this here, put this here, put this here, and we're just assigning everything based on where it should ideally go in the tile organization. And this is a heck ton of work. I might not use this method as often in the future, but for now it will do what we need it to. So now I'm going to go into the tile maps outdoors, and our thin grass tile is ready. We're just going to drag it here. And the big thing I'm going to want to do is drag this. We're done. Now, let's, moment of truth. The dense grass is a neighbor here. The thin grass is a neighbor here. A neighbor here. So we do have a problem. And I think it's that we were using the walls layer. Aye. Okay, let's also select the thin, to avoid confusion, we're going to do the grass tile here to have a better symbol so we can tell what the heck it is. So let's go into tiles, which should be, where are you? Here. And we're going to rechange this. And now with floor selected, that is extremely strange. Cool. Now we're going to go into our tile map area, and we're going to double check and make sure that everything's set up correctly. If it is, then we have a problem that we could fix somehow. But let's see here. This will be a neighbor to this, and this will be a neighbor to this. Dude. This is awesome. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make this look nice. Which means patches. All around. And we're kind of going to want it to like not be perfectly layered here. All of this is going to look a little bit messy and weird. Oh my gosh, guys, we did it. And we're going to do this. Dang, guys, we did it. This tile map looks awesome. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fix it up so that the path will work with this. The path isn't actually going to treat these guys the same way. As far as these scripts are concerned, they're going to make way for the path. The path isn't going to make way for them, and that's going to make it look nice. Okay, so we do have a slight problem here. And I'm just going to double check and make sure it's not that this path is... One moment. We're going to double check here and make sure that this is the correct path we're talking about here. So if I put this here, we're going to double check and take a look at the thin. And this is a little bit strange that it's not cooperating, but there we go. There we go. So Tiles version 2 is what we're looking for here. And we're done. So we have kind of like a way to vary our to make our grass look really good, I guess. I do wish that I had a brush that was a little bit larger though, because right now I'm just kind of like put this here. And then as we go further out, the grass is going to become increasingly like just messy. I'm going to drag this over here. Put this here. And I'm going to go over to the outdoors and I'm going to double check with our dense grass and just change a couple of settings. Let's check this. And we're going to make this a little bit more common to have our variances. And let's just double check this with gameplay wise. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what that was, but we're fine. I actually really like these tiles. Okay, I like it. So what we have is some functional grass tiles that have variations and look really cool. And these automatically tile when I place them, so I don't have to worry about decorative stuff. And it gives a little bit of variation where it's desperately needed. Okay, yeah, I think that this is good. Now let's welcome back the cat. How's it going? We're going to go ahead and create some path. We ended up fixing our issue, so now the dense grass and the thin grass, they tie together, and it looks really nice. If you could see over here, if I zoom in, so our thin grass here, it will just bleed very much easily into our thick grass, and it looks really natural. And then we also have a lot of these like random flowers and stuff around, which I'm really happy with it. It looks very nice. Was it worth the effort? I mean, I think so. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. But I am at least happy with the results here. And then, of course, cutscenes are ready-ish. And then we have stuff going on in here, which is cool. So, yeah, that's all that's going on here on this side. We got a lot of cool stuff done, but there's still some stuff that we need to do with the inventory and items, though. I'm wanting to add some extra items into the player's inventory and stuff. And I also want to build this game so that I could share it with people on the server. That's probably the next move. I'm just going to have to change some things. So let's finish off the stream by doing just that. We're going to create a playable prototype and share it inside of the Discord server. And just kind of share some of the progress that we've made for people who are interested. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change the controls screen because we did adjust some of the controls here. And we should also probably do the same thing in the combat scene. So inside of the combat scene... Oh, geez. I am so glad that I came. This is... could have been really bad. Okay. We're going to go ahead and create some patches here. Create them kind of like back here. Put these here. Okay. So the combat scene is ready. We're going to also create some differences in the buttons. We got to change some stuff. So we want the E to be a little bit different. One theory I heard about from my about friend is that this person referred to his friend as her, so that's why I believe not her. Who's her? She will parallel rail, saying that while she was able to help liners, she was made to stop them. Again, I don't know much about the friend theory. I saw Woody and I just ignored it. That was basically my experience with the theory. I might have missed something there, to be fair. But, okay, so we're going to change this. First things first, E is no longer E. We changed the controls to make it J, so let's fix that. We're going to select our black marker. And I'm going to do this, create symmetry. Friend is far more than Woody. Well, I mean, I would imagine so, but at the same time, I just saw that and I was like, I don't know. I don't see that being plausible, strictly because I don't think Toby would use other copyrighted content within the game, if that makes sense. Like, honestly, what if we tried just using a text here? Using... Do we have any good pixel text? And, I mean, even if the connection is very loose, as far as Woody and the friend, if the connection exists, it's literally impossible from a copyright angle for it to be... Well, okay, I say impossible. There's a chance that Toby made a deal to get access to the character, but again, I find that very far-fetched. Just from a game developer angle. Oh, I'm thinking about friend inside. Yeah. Is that not for... Are you talking about a different theory there? Okay, maybe I'll just put in more research on that point. Let's see. This J is good enough, I think. We're gonna take it in also. I'll just DM. Here we go with the Delta Rune theories, with the endless confusion that comes with it. I'm never going to fully understand these things. Okay, here's the J sheet that's finished. And we're gonna rename it to the J sheet. And then this is going to be K. I'm excited to get this posted onto the Discord server. I think it's been too long since we've had something new to share with the peeps. And honestly, I'm really happy with how far we've come so far. There's still a little bit we have to do before we can, like, get into the story lore stuff, which, sad, but, like, valid. Hopefully I cleared that up. I'll take a look at that as soon as we're done here. Because I think this, once I get the game building, I'm going to finish the stream. And building a game is a fancy way of saying just getting it put into an application so people can play it. I didn't really know what it meant when I first saw it, but... I'm really excited to share the prototype, though. Let's see here. Is this level? If I go straight up, it lines up here. If I go straight up, it also lines up here. Cool. Also, one thing interesting. Hit me. Okay, the offense button here, it is J, which, when it comes to here, let's double check. If input actions 1 is, then it will be J. That is weird that it didn't update. We're going to take care of that. Okay, save that. And then our inventory button will be E. Save that. Proceed is going to be J. We're kind of like abandoning the Undertale styled control style in favor of something that reminds us more of like our console games. So buttons are located closer to one another. And I am actually designing this game to work best with controller, which is really funny. But even like the stuff that you're doing outside a controller is meant to remind you of a controller, like with the buttons located pretty close to one another. You're going to use J here. WASD. Yeah, we're good. Now what happens if I leave? Is it ready? Okay, let's just double check one more time, make sure the input settings are ready. Seems like they're right. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and play test. I just need to make sure all the button controls are correct. So it's set to J. The This is set to K. This is set to K. J. Okay, everything is working there. And we have no items. Okay, it goes back. So one problem. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm gonna get rid of this. And pay attention to the chat for a brief second while I'm working on some inputs. In the newsletters, Toby said that the big cowboy section in Chapter 3 was canceled in an unused normal third board. Tenna quizzed you on Asgore's favorite cowboy show. All the answers are it was canceled, but what does it mean that this too was removed? Yeah, after beating Mario and Luigi Brothers ship, I'll probably be good at that. Oh, for sure. This is definitely kicks a lot of inspiration from that. But, okay, hold on. I'm just confused, though, because for some reason I have to press enter to interact with the menu. Oh, maybe that's UI. Hold on. I got this. J. Or button south. Although, actually, now that I think about it, we should use the right button, because when it comes to like when it comes to Nintendo controllers, usually their select button is the A button, which is on the right. So if we're basing this off of Nintendo games, ideally we want to use the right button, right? DDR, but okay, hold on, DDR, what do you mean by that? Okay. Interact is ready. Jump is not really used. We're gonna delete that. Dance Dance Revolution. I've been playing a lot of rhythm games, so I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. Let's just put it like that. I really like the idea of messing around with something like that. We're gonna get rid of the attack binding as well, since we're not using that. But balancing a fight to rhythm would be hard. It would have to be something pretty small. And back would be not button east. Back would be the button south. And real input, time input 2 would be also button south. Okay, in order to test this, the only way that you could test in a game if the controls work is by playing it until you notice something weird, unfortunately. So we're going to try that. And with the main menu, I'm also going to change the instructions so that it says what you're supposed to do. The RPG mode in Rhythm Heaven Groove looks pretty cool. I'm gonna look up that game. Okay, we're just gonna try this with the keyboard, see if the controls work. And this is the final test before I send it out to the server. Okay, that falling block doesn't look normal. So J selects, that's good. So we have an item floating over here. We're going to pick that up. And if I press E, I do have that item. So K to leave. So that's all ready. We could go up here, which triggers a fight, which we could test the controls there. I have to use enter to get into these menus. That's still a problem. Okay. So the only problem so far is in the combat screen. We need to make sure that we got to fix this. let's see here. We're going to go into the scene over here, which should be the managers. One thing I'm going to do before Chapter 5 releases is delete my watch history. What? What'd you do? Event manager, we don't need to mess with that. Event system, that's what we're looking for. Okay. Submit is going to be UI.submit. Okay, so that's what we need to change here. So I don't get spoiled. Dude, real. It's so hard to stay unspoiled when it comes to Deltarune and all that stuff. Okay, guys, I think that Unity is trolling me right now. I think it's trolling me hard. What is this? Because submit is literally set to the correct button. Unity's trolling me. Okay, hold on. We're going to go to World Zero Combat. So WASD is how we navigate our menus, right? It's all set up. J does nothing. What in the world? Okay, event system. What are you doing? Submit. Okay, that's literally set up. I don't. What? Oh wait, I know what's wrong. I think I know what's wrong, guys. Hold on. We're gonna fix it, and then I get to post this. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Event system. We gotta change the input settings that it's using. To the ones that we have been using. So we're gonna set point to none, left click to none, because you don't get to use mouse controls in this game. You just don't. We don't give you the option. I'm sorry, but we're not allowing it. UI navigate, UI submit, UI cancel. Everything's ready. And we really don't need to track the device's orientation in this game, so we're just going to ignore that. We're almost ready, guys. Let's go. Submit is ready. Cancel is... let's go ahead and listen for... Okay. Keyboard. And that's going to be the B button as well on the Nintendo Switch style controller. All right. And now I think it's ready. Let's go back into the combat scene and see if it works. So, hopefully, we move, we press, we go back, we press, we go, we hit, and we're ready. It works, guys. Wait, hold on. Why did it go back? Okay, that's all ready. Now I'm gonna punch this guy. To block this. Punch this guy. Block this. One last hit. Okay. It's just about ready. All right, the final thing what we're going to do is reset the player's health. Max health is 8. Current health is 4. So we're going to set that to 8. And with that, we're ready. So the first thing that we do when we're building is we create a test build. I'm going to create it for web since I'm going to share it through the web to everyone. And I'm just going to press build and run. And we're going to put this inside of... this is going to be a build 0.04. And every single time I get a new build, I just add a number to it. Once it hits 1.0, that's release ready, so... Yeah, at this point, we just kind of wait for it to do its thing. So, I guess here's the takeaway that I want to leave you guys with. I'm posting a prototype today. At some point. It's going to be inside of the prototyping area and whatever, and I'm going to need as much input as possible. And there will be gimmicks. Also, you can play my song now since it's real. Yeah, but I don't think that's a stream thing, really. When it comes to streaming, that's more of a way for me to stay disciplined when it comes to specifically game design. And prototype, yes, we are releasing one today. I'm going to actually get the notification on the Discord server for everyone. So, it's going to be gimmicky. That's for sure. It's going to have problems. But I'm really excited. I'm very excited. Visit us. Visit us? What? Ooga booga. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Google Translate took care of that. That is so random. Yeah. The prototype's going to be ready soon, yeah. So, I'm going to host it on itch and send it through the Discord, so... But yeah, I really don't have anything else I could stream about, since the rest of the stream would really just be waiting around. So, I'm just going to cancel it here. The point is, get on Discord, check out the prototype, 0.04. Yeah. Man, I thought that I would have more to say after that. Yeah. We're going places, peeps. I don't know. Okay, I'm hopping off. Well, see you guys soon. Check my DMs. I will. Bye, peeps.